Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Special. I'm actually your host, Fluffy Hobo, and I will be reading you the news articles that we didn't get to throughout the week. So, without further ado, let's get going. So, Thomas Massey tweeted out that Congress paid $17 million of taxpayer money for undisclosed hush money payments and cover up the sexual harassment claims. From CNN Politics, Congress paid out $17 million in settlements. Here's what we know so little about the money. Actually, really, if you want to read this article, it's not until the very bottom when we get to it. The settlements weren't said and was not clear to how many other lawmakers, if any, additional in the White House administration. Committee's top two members are privy to the details and settlements and payments. A source in the House Speaker Paul Ryan's office told CNN that Ryan is not made aware of the details of harassment settlements, that the source of the top Democrat and Republican on the House Administration Committees review proposed settlements for both must approve the payouts. So there's a lot of sexual harassment in Congress, and they're paying them out and not disclosing them to the American people. We need to audit this quickly. This is ridiculous. For the simple fact that we're paying out settlements with the taxpayer money, but Trump was recently indicted for a sexual harassment, a NDA disclosure thing. But moving on. Elon Musk is staged to host a town hall on X with Donald Trump. No date has been announced yet for it. However, it has been concluded that it will be on X and users will be able to submit questions to the panel. And the panel seems to be Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and possibly RFK Jr. But little to no detail is on this for right now. We do know that Trump and Biden debate is slated for June 27th. But we don't know how well that's going to play out, especially when sentencing is June 11th. So we will see. CNBC. IRS free tax filing program to be available nationwide starting 2025, but there's some caveats. In 2024, a direct file pilot was included in Arizona, California, Florida, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Hampshire, New York, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. The pilot focused on simple filings, including taxpayer W-2 forms, wages, Social Security, retirement income, unemployment, earnings, and interest of $1,500 or less. However, taxpayers excluded with this contract income via report of the Form 1099 NEC, gig economy workers, and self-employed filers. So if you own a small business, you don't qualify for the free tax filing. Now, this is based off of the IRS's test pilot that was done in those states, which seemed to have corroborated a 7.3 increase compared to the previous year of filers. So, from what I can gather from this, the IRS has invested money into making a AI language model, an API, to file taxes for free and is getting away from the TurboTax and other things like that, which TurboTax has been lobbying the IRS and government for a long time to ensure that people go to things like TurboTax, H&R Block, and stuff like that to file people's taxes, because it's not illegal you can file your taxes through the IRS.gov website for free, typically. It's all these other programs that advertise that, no, you have to go through them. Well, it is what it is. SDNR.com. Biden snaps at a reporter for asking about handing power to Harris. Did you fall on your head? The president was asked the question, will you be serving your full 4 years or handing over power to Vice President Harris? President Biden asked, are you okay? Are you all right? Are you not hurt? Nobody really believes Biden is going to last 4 years of another presidential term. Nobody. If you believe so, you're lying to yourself. You need a reality check. Also, there's a good speculation that Biden probably won't be the front runner. Not the front runner. Might not be the president, because some of these photos at his rallies are not good. Like, here's one of the photos here. This is the rally this is during pre-stage, so I don't know how accurate it really is. But the fact that this is all he can muster in Philadelphia says a lot. Here's a bigger one. World's first bioprocessor made with human brain tissue is it uses 1,000,000 times less power. You better start believing in dystopian nightmares because you're living in one. A Swiss startup has claimed to create the world's first bioprocessor, which is part of an online platform that with remote access to 16 human brain organoids. The startup Final Spark claims that the neural platform is the first of its kind and is capable of delivering access to biological neurons in vitro. What's more intriguing about the bioprocessor is that the company claims it consumes 1,000,000 times less power than traditional processors. Final Spark also claims that its bioprocessor is capable of learning and processing information. These things are very bold claims that could be completely change how we approach the use of bioprocessors going forward. You know, there's a lot of horror films about this stuff. And it kind of reminds me of before we asked should, you just did. This is nightmare fuel. This is man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. Speaking of horrors, we're spending money on the Air Force again, and big time. The Air Force unveils a new B-21 Raider, the newest nuclear stealth bomber. And there's a picture of that beautiful white stealth bomber. So, there's not a whole lot of information about this right now, but this plane, bomber, will start feeding or fettering into the system and getting rid of the B-1 and traditional B-2 bombers, which played a major role in, national security and whatnot. But there's really no detail on it, whether it is actually a nuclear-powered bomber or just a nuclear payload bomber. I haven't been able to see much of the information available for this, but we got a new bomber, I guess. All right, a white pill. Louisiana bill to castrate sex offenders moving towards the governor's desk for signature. Louisiana may adopt a bill allowing judges to sentence child rapists to surgical castration. This comes on the heels of the Louisiana Senate bill allowing judges to sentence convicted child rapists to surgical castration becoming law. Now, this is a reversible chemical castration. Let me start over. The chemical castration is reversible. They've already prosecuted and made laws into making criminal punishment in the state by using chemical castration, and this effect is already coming into law throughout the whole state because they were doing it in certain counties here and there. This will pretty much take the judge to say, like, okay, here's what you can do, be with it, and chemically castrate people, which, I don't know. I'm kind of hit or miss with this one. It's definitely interesting, but I guess this is more of a question for you people. Would you be okay with your tax dollars chemically castrating somebody? That's the question you have to ask yourself. All right, here's some black pill news. The military hid an attempted Quantico base breach by Jordanians from the Marines for 2 weeks. There's a lot of fluff in this. It really is. But essentially, 2 immigrants from Jordan got into a box truck and rushed the gates of Quantico in a terrorism attack, essentially. And Quantico wrapped it up and told no one until they covered their ass and then got it out there. Quote, it was basically, fuck guys, I guess we aren't able to keep this secret. We should try to do some CYA. And this is from Strickland, who is part of the National Ground Intelligence Center. Yeah. So if they're attacking Quantico from essentially the open border, what else is not safe? But with that in mind, speaking of immigration, Eric Adams joins a group of 40 mayors. Country excludes to urging Biden to let more undocumented immigrants work. Yeah. So, we want you all to come here. We want you all to work, but there's restrictions on green cards and visas and all this other stuff. We need them to have social security numbers too. So that way they can know who's working and then collect taxes off of them. Allegedly. speaking of something terrible, the WHO failure to reach a pandemic agreement underscores a global health divide. Well, yeah, they were totalitarian assholes to all of us, telling the world essentially how to run and handle a pandemic, without including the factor of like what countries have what money, what countries use certain currencies, different bases of culture, what kind of vaccines are out there. It is what it is. The fact that the WHO is acting more of like a government overlord from all the governments says a lot. They want power and they keep acting like they need more and more power. But the WHO can go pound sand, in my opinion. All right, Politico. Biden. If black Americans stormed the Capitol, Trump wouldn't be talking about pardons. So yet again, Biden is blaming the white people for all of America's issues. I wish I was kidding. What would happen if black Americans stormed into the Capitol? I don't think he'd be talking about pardons, Biden said. This is the same guy who wanted to tear gas you if you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder. It's the same guy who still calls the Central Park Five guilty, even though they were exonerated. He's that landlord who denies housing applications because of the color of your skin. He's the guy who won't say Black Lives Matter and invokes a neo-Nazi Third Reich terms. So, I don't know who's feeding Biden this information, but you guys really need to do better. You really need to do better. But Biden's brain's broke, so who knows? Well, that's all we got for this week. Stay tuned for next week when I read you the leftovers that we couldn't get to. Until then, my friends, I will see you all next time.